Good morning, I'm Michael Konopasek, live near Twist. Former firefighters accusing crews of not doing enough to save homes in this area. A live full report is coming up.
Planes carrying the remains of victims of that Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 arrive in the Netherlands. While the Dutch grieve, the world continues to demand answers.
New controversy over the response to our state's largest wildfire. A live report from the fire lines straight ahead this morning.
You're watching King 5 News.
It is 8 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joyce Taylor.
I'm Mark Wright. Good morning. So we're getting some rain out there. Feels
Finally.
great. How much will we get today? Mary Lee standing by. She's in for Rich this week. Hi, Mary.
Good morning. Hi, Mark and Joyce. We are looking at as much as a ½ inch to an inch and a half as we go through the day within the next 24 hours. That is a lot of rain, impressive rainfall totals that we are expecting. Live Doppler radar showing the activity as we start the morning, and you can see moderate to even heavy rainfall falling still, especially over the Cascade foothills. We're tracking those lightning strikes, and zooming in a little bit closer here, you can see we are tracking those showers moving across Seattle, Mercer Island through Kent and up through Kirkland, with most of the lightning now concentrated over the Cascade foothills. So we're watching that start to wind down. But for noon, 5 p.m., mid to upper 60s showers and thunderstorms. Let's head over to Tracy for a look at traffic on this busy Wednesday morning.
Difficult drive, not only from the north sound, but now from the south sound. So those of you leaving Tacoma or those of you leaving Everett, you can expect at least an hour and a half on your commute into downtown Seattle. Westbound 90 being down to just one lane of traffic. Traffic a little slow from Eastgate, actually a little bit better, all the way through the construction zone. So if you're headed out that way, that's a little bit of an issue, where the drive from Issaquah into downtown Seattle right now is running at about 26 minutes. A crash on 520 westbound at 405 that is off to the side, and a little bit of a distraction for drivers, and the dot cams don't want to flip out towards it. Here we go. Crash on northbound 405's ramp here at the Maple Valley Highway. Another crash on northbound 405 at 30th this morning. We're playing bumper cars because of the terrible conditions. We'll get you drive times in less than 10 minutes. Guys, back to you.
All right, Tracy, thank you. It's 8:01. We've been tracking this breaking story for a little bit this morning out of Taiwan. A plane has crashed in the city of Ma Gong. According to Taiwan's Central News Agency, this plane crashed during a failed emergency landing today. The Associated Press says at least 51 people have been killed, but 7 passengers reportedly survived. The plane was operated by a Taiwanese airline, Trans-Asia Airways. We'll bring you more details just as soon as they come in.
Right now, we are getting reports that 2 Ukrainian military jets, fighter jets, have been shot down in the eastern part of the country. Ukraine's defense ministry says the 2 fighters were shot down over an area called Savor Mogila. The planes may have been carrying up to 2 crew members each. And right now, live look at the Eindhoven Airport in the Netherlands, where the first plane carrying remains of the victims of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH17 will arrive from the Ukraine. The Dutch King and Queen will be meeting with the families. They will be meeting the coffins there, as they are now in a national state of mourning. Meanwhile, the U.S. insisting that rebels shot down Malaysia Flight MH17 with a missile from Russia, then bragged about it online. The U.S. also thinking that it was a mistake, that the rebels thought that this was a transport plane. Investigators saw the 6-mile debris field for the very first time on Tuesday. International monitors say that there is no security and that it appears some of this debris has been moved or altered. Other news that we're looking at, we continue to focus on the wildfires burning in central Washington this morning. At least 3,400 customers are still without power. Some good news, the Mills Canyon wildfire near Antioch now about 90% contained this morning.
This fire has burned more than 22,000 acres. It was the first big one to break out over the past 2 weeks. This morning, word from the federal government that more help is on the way. The president said during yesterday's visit that he has requested that FEMA step in, getting help from Congress in the amount of $615 million. With hundreds of families forced out of homes without power or water, hundreds don't have any homes to go back to at all. The Carlton Complex fire has left plenty of despair and frustration in its wake.
King 5's Michael Konopasek discovered some locals near Twist say that it wasn't the fire, but the state's response that's responsible for their loss. And he joins us now live this morning with the latest. Michael?
Well, good morning to you. You can see just how random this fire was. A home off in the distance has not been touched. Here, though, this house completely destroyed. You can't make too much of anything out. Some stuff you can. A bathtub right here. This is the scene throughout much of the Twisp area, and one of the homes belonged to a former firefighter. He says that crews throughout the area could have done much more to save these homes, and he's not the only one saying that. His dogs are dead. His home destroyed. His life changed forever.
We got out with the clothes on our back.
Kim Multias says he battled the blaze with a garden hose as firefighters just a field away were ordered to stand down.
We were basically left on our own to defend ourselves and our property. Nobody would help us.
It's a claim that's hard to believe, but there's another witness to this story, one of Kim's neighbors and a former U.S. Forest Service firefighter.
I mean, we saved 5 houses with no pumper truck and with no help.
Rob Risley says the Department of Natural Resources and the responding local departments dropped the ball in the Loop Loop Valley, neglecting to put out hot spots, which later flared up and destroyed homes.
It's beyond my comprehension of why they did nothing at all.
Well, they sat over there in the field and watched and took pictures.
DNR tells King 5 it is investigating Multias and Risley's claims, but said, quote, it would be really uncharacteristic of firefighters to ignore the needs of homeowners, end quote. So was it a communication issue? Mixed up orders? Both men say they are working to find out, and so are we. Are you going to file a complaint?
Damn right I am. And everybody up here is.
The DNR says that throughout this area, incident commanders can come from local, state, or federal agencies, DNR being a state agency. Now, the 2 firefighters that you just met there in that piece, they claim that it was DNR in charge of all of this area. DNR cannot confirm or deny that at this time. They are looking into it. We hope to learn more today. Reporting live, Michael Konopasek, King 5 News.
Michael, thank you. So in terms, just a quick question for you. The weather, we know that it's cooler, it's going to be wetter, but that's sort of mixed for firefighters. Is it good news and bad news?
It really is. It's a welcome relief. The cool temperatures and the water can help more of a direct attack on the flames. However, it can make things soggy and the terrain a little more difficult to get through. We talked with DNR. They tell us that even with all of this water, the brush is wet. Lightning can still spark flames.
With the dry conditions overall, a fire can still start easily underneath large conifers where the duff is still very dry and it's dry deep into the soil. So lightning that runs to the ground would actually probably cause a start.
And another important thing to note are the burnout tactics. They try to burn out some of the extra fuel above, or rather ahead of the fire. That's very difficult to do when things are wet. But rain, no wind, no lightning, that's good news. Michael Konopasek, News, King 5 News.
Michael, thank you. 8:07 is the time right now. As these wildfires grow, so is the cost of fighting them with each passing day. The Department of Natural Resources says it is already over budget and looking for more money. Coming up at 8:30 right here, we're going to talk about what that could mean for other state agencies and projects as well. If you'd like to help those affected by the fires, here's a great way to do it. We have launched Northwest Response to help people affected by the wildfires. Your gift will help the Red Cross provide food, supplies, and shelter to the people who need that most. You can find out how to donate by going to king5.com.